There's news, there's sense, and there's nuisance. This show is all about that last bit, the big story of the week.
मैं तो सुन रही थी आप मेरठ में कह रहे थे कि अच्छा हुआ मेरी शादी नहीं हुई। ऐसा क्यों?
ऐसे क्यों बाबा जी? हिंदू राष्ट्र भी बन सकता है और आपका घर भी संवर सकता है।
हिंदू राष्ट्र बनाने में, सनातन को आगे ले जाने में शादी नहीं करनी है।
बाबा बागेश्वर की शादी कब होगी? Trust Navika to ask a question that no one in the nation cares about.
तो शादी करेंगे? हाँ
पक्का है। ये भी आप नई घोषणा मत करवा देना कि हम नहीं करेंगे। तो हमारा नंबर
तो लाइनें लगी होंगी।
लाइन लगी होगी? नविका अपनी कंपनी सुधारो। From Taimur's potty, she has really come a long way.
It's going to be a treat if we get to see Taimur again.
I'm sorry, he's currently on the potty.
We can't quibble with that. It's an important place to be in.
Now back to actual news and not Navika का drama.
सबसे पहले तो जिनकी काली मानसिकता और काली मंशा है, उन्होंने काले कपड़े धारण किए हुए हैं।
मैंने भी पहना है, पर मैं गुलाबी दिखा देती हूँ।
किसी के मन में काली मंशा।
Late Thursday night, while most of us were asleep, Parliament passed the Waqf Amendment Bill. It's no longer the Waqf Act, by the way. Now it's the Ummeed Bill. Because every complicated law needs a feel-good name. Ummeed is equal to Unified Waqf Management, Empowerment, Efficiency and Development. Why stop at empowerment, efficiency and development यार? You could have made it उम्मीदें। एक झटके में innovation by नरेंद्र मोदी. Now, पार्लियामेंट में इस इशू पे जम की डिबेट हुई. Jokes were cracked of the BJP.
जो पार्टी ये कहती हो कि दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी पार्टी हुए, अध्यक्ष महोदय वो अपना राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष नहीं चुन पाए अभी तक.
अमित शाह responded.
कि सामने जितनी पार्टियां हैं उनका राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष उन 5 लोगों को ही चुनना है परिवार के। हमें माननीय अध्यक्ष जी करोड़ों सदस्यों में से 12-13 करोड़ सदस्य प्रक्रिया कर चुनना है तो देर लगती है।
शेरो शायरी भी हुई.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, किसी की बात कोई बदगुमान ना समझे, इस जमीन का दर्द कभी आसमान ना समझेगा.
और टीवी न्यूज में आलोक शर्मा, कांग्रेस स्पोक्सपर्सन, एक अलग ही धावा बोल रहे थे, कभी चित्रा पे कभी अंजना पे.
चित्रा जी, आपने गूगल थोड़ा सा कर लेते तो बहुत अच्छा रहता. आप बिल्कुल अंधभक्त होके गौरव जी की मोहर लगा रहे हैं बात पर. जो हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में केसेस चल रहे हैं वो सिर्फ ट्रिब्यूनल में हारे और जीते केस ही चल रहे हैं. ये तमाम केसेस की लिस्ट है. सैकड़ों केस ट्रिब्यूनल में हार के लोग हाई कोर्ट गए और हर हाई कोर्ट में हिंदुस्तान के सैकड़ों केस चल रहे हैं. पता नहीं अनपढ़ लोग किस तरह से कोई भी स्टेटमेंट देके चले जाते हैं आगे.
इस तरह के व्यक्ति को झेलने के लिए मैं मजबूर नहीं हूँ जो इस तरह से मुझे फिजिकली और वर्बली अब्यूज करे मेरे शो पर.
रोना आप रोते हैं, मैं रो नहीं रहा हूँ. अपनी भाषा को लगाम दीजिए चित्रा जी. आपने कहा रोना बंद कीजिए. ये भाजपा के अंधभक्त की भाषा है, एक एंकर की नहीं है.
Now I am not for aggression and using words like unpad. But you can't blame Alok ji for just raining down on news anchors because it was so frustrating to watch them this week. Just how little research these guys had done for a bill that they were batting for. Now, understanding the concept and the law of Waqf and the changes being brought in any way is a really, really complicated thing to do. And guess who didn't help us at all?
एक ही धर्म को ऐसा कानून मिला हुआ है कि भैया जहां मन वहां उंगली रख दो, तुम्हारी हो जाएगी.
इसी टाइप से वक्फ चल रहा है.
यही इसी टाइप से मिलता जुलता हिसाब वक्त में चल रहा है कि जहां उंगली रख दी वो हमारा हो गया. मोदी कह रहे हैं भाई ये मत करो, कागज दिखाओ, करो जो करना है.
अल हबीबी, माशा अल्लाह, क्या खूबसूरत इमारत बनाई है आप लोगों ने. आज से ये वक्फ का, इसका नाम आज से अल न्यूज लॉन्ड्री.
This claim was actually very viral on TV news all of this week कि वक्फ ने उंगली करके कोई प्रॉपर्टी टच करी और वो उसकी हो गई. Sushant explained that with emojis just in case it was complicated for you guys to understand.
ईडन गार्डन भी वक्फ का है, फोर्ट विलियम भी वक्फ का, राष्ट्रपति भवन भी वक्फ का.
न्यूज के नाम पे क्या देखना पड़ता है.
लॉजिक नाम की कोई चीज होती है?
It wasn't just Sushant alone, everyone repeated this.
जो मौजूदा व्यवस्था है कि ताजमहल भी हमारा, संसद भी हमारा, ये भी हमारा, वो भी, जो मौजूदा व्यवस्था है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जमीन हमारी, क्या वो संविधान सम्मत है अजीज खान?
सबसे बड़ी खबर यही है कि आपकी, हमारी और इस देश की संसद बच गई है।
देश की संसद बच गई इन मुसलमानों से।
उग्रवादी बोलने भी तो कभी खड़ा होगा, ये बता रहा हूँ। उग्रवादी।
हाँ भाई, पार्लियामेंट को तो बस वक्फ से ही खतरा था, नॉट फ्रॉम सांसद जी, जो कैसे कैसे बयान देते आ रहे हैं। धन्य हो भगवान का।
आपकी संसद अब पूरी तरह से सुरक्षित है। आपकी संसद पर अब कोई भी कब्जा नहीं कर पाएगा। कोई दावा नहीं कर सकेगा ये देश की नहीं बल्कि उसकी पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी है।
वैसे तो पार्लियामेंट में ज्यादा मुस्लिम एमपीज नजर आते नहीं हैं। एबीपी न्यूज ने ही दिखा दी अपने ग्राफिक में खूब सारे मुसलमान इन पार्लियामेंट।
कोई भी ताकत आपके प्रधानमंत्री, मंत्रियों और सांसदों को नोटिस नहीं दे सकती कि संसद को 1 महीने में खाली करो। अपने टेबल, कुर्सी कहीं और जमाओ।
कुर्सी खाली करो, अब ये जमीन हमारा है। This literally never happened. Look, there may be some bizarre claims made by Neta type log, like many bizarre claims made by many Neta type log.
ये लोगों को समझना चाहिए कि वो ताजमहल नहीं है, तेजोमय मंदिर है, और इस असलियत को समझ करके ही लोगों को व्यवहार करना चाहिए।
मैं कैंसर की पेशेंट, मैंने गौमूत्र से और पंचगव्य से बनी औषधियों से अपने को ठीक किया, अपना कैंसर ठीक किया है।
नेताओं का तो काम ही ये है उल जलूल बातें करना, लेकिन अगर आप अपने आप को न्यूज एंकर बुलाते हैं तो थोड़ा तो काम कर लो यार।
दिल्ली का एयरपोर्ट, प्रधानमंत्री दुनिया में कहीं भी जाएं, वक्फ बोर्ड उनका टेक ऑफ नहीं रोक सकेगा। ट्रंप, पुतिन, मैक्रो, ये सब लोग जब भी दिल्ली आएंगे तो ये नहीं हो सकता कि वक्फ बोर्ड अपना एयरपोर्ट बताकर उनकी लैंडिंग रोक दे।
ये सब कब हो रहा था चित्रा जी? मतलब ये कब हुआ कि वक्फ बोर्ड ने प्रधानमंत्री का टेक ऑफ रोक दिया, पुतिन की लैंडिंग रोक दी? ये सही है यार, कुछ भी बोल दो कि वक्फ अब चंद्रयान को मून पे लैंडिंग करने से नहीं रोक सकता, वक्फ बोर्ड अब इंडिया को 3rd लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी बनने से नहीं रोक सकता, वक्फ बोर्ड अब हिंदुस्तानियों को रोजगार मिलने से नहीं रोक सकता। ओ, वो तो गवर्नमेंट की नीतियां ही कर रही हैं।
भारत अब बदल चुका है, ये नया भारत।
मतलब कोई लॉजिक है इस बात का कि वक्फ ये नहीं कर सकता, वक्फ वो नहीं कर सकता? भाई वक्फ पहले भी पीएम का प्लेन नहीं रोक सकता था और अभी भी नहीं रोक सकता है। कहाँ रहती हैं आप और कौन से सस्ते नशे करके न्यूज पे आती हैं आप? I guess though you can't blame Chitra since her masters in parliament spread the same fear.
किसी की जमीन अब घोषणा मात्र से वक़्फ नहीं बनेगी।
अगर आज हम ये संशोधन लेके नहीं आते तो जिस सदन में हम बैठे हैं, ये पार्लियामेंट बिल्डिंग, इसको भी क्लेम किया जा रहा था।
After these interventions in parliament by our Neta Log, a senior Delhi Waqf Board official told the Indian Express, I have been working at the Delhi Waqf Board for 18 years. The board has made no claim on the parliament complex or adjoining complexes. This claim by the Honorable Minister is not true. Historically, Waqf Board in Delhi may have made many claims on land in many parts of Delhi, and motormouth leaders sitting in Assam may have said many bizarre things. But to present that as some real danger to Modi ji's plane taking off is just sinister. If you've been watching Chitra and others on TV news this week, you can't be blamed for feeling that the Waqf board actually can randomly claim any property, whether it's your house, your land, or your favorite chai ki tapri. If you watch TV debates, you'd think Waqf officials are just walking around like Mugambo, pointing at buildings and saying, "Ye hamara hua, ha ha ha."
ये वक्फ का है। 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 हाँ, सो दोबारा फोन मत करना इस नंबर पे। ये वक्फ का है। ये भी वक्फ का है।
But that is not how Waqf has been working in this country. Let's just understand how things worked with the Waqf before we get to the changes that have been brought in. First up, any Waqf property has to be donated. Waqf properties don't just appear out of thin air. They are donated by someone who voluntarily gives it for religious or charitable purposes. Historically, even non-Muslims could donate land for qabristan, madrasas or mosques. Now, thanks to the new Ummeed Bill, only Muslims can donate land or can make land into a Waqf land. Secondly, government-appointed surveyors identify Waqf properties. Every state has a Waqf survey commissioner who is appointed by the government. ये सर्वे कमिश्नर एक सिविल सर्वेंट होता है. This government appointed official is responsible for identifying Waqf properties based on historical records, donations and past use. After this, there's verification and notification. Once a survey is done of a property, a list of Waqf properties is published in the Gazette, which is an official government record. If a property is wrongly listed, the owner can challenge it. If there's a dispute, there's also a legal process. Someone may disagree with a Waqf claim. They can take the matter to the tribunal, the Waqf Tribunal, a special court set up to handle such disputes. This also functions like many other tribunals in our country, like the NGT or the Income Tax Tribunal. So Waqf board can't just say, "ये हमारा हुआ, हमने इसको छू लिया." There's a survey by a government official. There's verification, there's notification and a legal process before any claim is made. ये सब पहले से लागू था. But why let facts get in the way of high decibel TV debates where anchors scream, "Hindu की property खतरे में है"? The second big myth, that the Waqf board is some private Muslim organization run by a band of Muslims. One of the biggest misconceptions that TV debates have pushed this week is that the Waqf board is independent, all-powerful Muslim body that operates outside government control. You think they are sitting in some secret underground lair plotting land takeovers, land jihad. The truth is, the Waqf board has always been a government body, controlled, regulated by the government itself. It was created by an act of parliament. The government appoints key positions. The Central Waqf Council, which regulates all the state Waqf boards. This council comes under the Ministry of Minority Affairs. The chairperson of this council is appointed by the government. So there's plenty of government intervention and oversight. बात आती है अब state Waqf boards की. They are formed by the government with members nominated by state government. इसमें Muslim MPs हो सकते हैं, Muslim MLAs हो सकते हैं, experts who are aware of Islamic jurisprudence, ये लोग भी हो सकते हैं. State governments have full power to oversee, investigate and even dissolve a Waqf board if needed. The Waqf Tribunal, like I had said earlier, it's a government created body and it handles all disputes, and courts can review these cases like they have been for many years. So no, the Waqf board is not some private Muslim mafia out to grab your land. The government has very much always had control on it. In fact, it's one of the most regulated bodies when it comes to a body which has religious purposes. It follows a set of laws framed by Indian Parliament, like I said earlier. But of course, explaining all this doesn't get TRPs. So TV news would rather scream, "Waqf board is taking over India," instead of saying that Waqf board is basically a government department, which, like many government departments, suffers with inefficiency and massive corruption. 2012 की एक रिपोर्ट है which found that about 27,000 acres of Waqf land in Karnataka had just vanished, either sold off illegally or grabbed by real estate sharks with the help of politicians and Waqf officials. The loss was estimated to be about 2 lakh crore. So everyone agrees that this system needs reform. But instead of fixing corruption, instead of figuring what lack of transparency is, how that can be fixed, instead of looking at bad governance, we get WhatsApp University panic attacks about how Waqf will take over your city and your nanny's house.
From the Gyanavapi to islands in the Devabhoomi Dwarka, everything according to these so-called Muslim leaders, everything is Waqf land.
TV news में ये सब चल रहा है because explaining laws and explaining the changes in a law is very boring. But fear-mongering gets you TRPs.
We will work up all the Muslims. We'll have Shaheen Bagh number 3, number 4, number 5, number 25, number 125, 2025 all over the country.
इन सब का तो चलता रहेगा. Let us do the boring job. So stay with me. Don't zone out. Let's look at some of the changes introduced in the law. Change number 1. The Central Waqf Council will now have to have 2 Muslim women representatives. That's great. The other good part is that it seeks to have more representatives of minorities within the larger minority Muslim groups. The contentious bit. Waqf properties will not be considered waqf unless they have been registered with a government portal. All information regarding waqf properties must be uploaded to a designated government portal within 6 months. So digitization of properties, it has to happen with modern times, and it's good, it's welcome. But it has to happen within 6 months. That's bad because it's too lesser time. Scholars agree that at least 5 years should be given for people to register and upload, find documents related to the property, to be able to do the proper digitization process. 6 months is just too lesser time. The other big change, who decides if there's a dispute on a waqf property? Now, it will be an officer above the rank of a district collector who will decide. So the survey commissioner I spoke about earlier, who was appointed by the state, that person will no longer have the final authority on declaring a land as waqf. Third big change. One could always challenge the Waqf Tribunal decision earlier in High Court or Supreme Court, but now you can also do it in lower courts. So that's one change. Challenge आप पहले भी कर सकते थे, लेकिन सिर्फ हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में थ्रू अ रिट पिटिशन. Now you can do it in lower courts. The act also explicitly says that decisions of the Waqf Tribunal are no longer final, and that makes these decisions open to judicial review. The new act also mandates that state governments have to appoint at least 2 non-Muslims to the state Waqf board. So only Muslims now can donate, but non-Muslims can decide on the donation. This hypocrisy was pointed out by many.
सरकार इसे एक सेक्युलर बॉडी मान रही है और इसमें गैर मुस्लिमों को शामिल करने की बात कह रही है. आपके मुंह से सेक्युलरिज्म की बात सुनकर अच्छा लगा, लेकिन अगले ही पल ये भ्रम टूट जाता है, क्योंकि आपको सिर्फ दान देने के लिए प्रैक्टिसिंग मुस्लिम का आपने क्लॉज डाला है, लेकिन बोर्ड में बैठने के लिए मुस्लिम होने की कोई आपकी क्लॉज नहीं है. तो इससे आपकी जो दोहरी नीति है वो साफ जाहिर होती है.
बिल के अराउंड जो कंसर्न्स हैं, इंस्टेड ऑफ डिस्कसिंग दैट, ऑल वी हर्ड ऑन टीवी न्यूज वाज वक्फ के पास इतनी जमीन क्यों है?
ये मामला देश के तीसरे सबसे बड़े लैंड ओनर का है, और वो कौन है? तीसरी सबसे ज्यादा संपत्ति रखने वाला कौन? वो वक्फ बोर्ड है.
इस देश में रेलवे और डिफेंस के बाद सबसे ज्यादा जमीन वक्फ बोर्ड के पास है. वक्फ के पास करीब 8,72,000 प्रॉपर्टी.
Now it's true that the Waqf is the third largest land owner in India. But it's worth noting that if you include just 3 temple trusts in the country, Tamil Nadu, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, they own more land than all the Waqf properties in the countries combined. The only reason why Hindu temples can't rival Waqf properties is because they aren't united as one body, but that doesn't mean कि Hindu temples or trusts have less land ownership.
अब आपको खेल समझ में आ रहा है?
लेकिन वो सब छोड़ो, ये मुसलमानों को स्पेशल ट्रीटमेंट कैसे मिली?
So fairness should only happen to one community, should not happen to another community. Sanjay Jha, is that what you propose?
Thanks to the pseudo-secular politics of the ecosystem helmed by the Congress party, one community has been placed on a legislative pedestal higher than any other in India.
Of course, also bring some Mughals into all of this just for some fun.
पॉइंट ये है कि आखिरकार मुगलों का गुणगान क्यों इस देश के अंदर?
Like I said before, some changes in this law are welcome, like bringing more representation. Digitization is a welcome move provided it gives people ample time. Transparency is welcome. But बीजेपी का प्रॉब्लम सबसे बड़ा ये है कि जब भी वो मुसलमानों का उद्धार करने निकलती है तो उनकी नीयत पे शक सा थोड़ा हो जाता है. क्यों सुशांत?
मुसलमानों को तो नरेंद्र मोदी को माला जाके पहनानी चाहिए कि बॉस आपने बहुत बड़ा काम कर दिया कि पूरा कानून खत्म नहीं किया, सिर्फ संशोधन किया, वो भी गरीब मुसलमान को फायदा देने वाला.
Don't know about Sushant, but I think you can't blame Muslims for being skeptical when the same people who scream Hindus are in danger every day are now suddenly saving Muslims with a new Waqf law. अगर असली खतरा हिंदुओं को है पूरे साल 365 डेज अ ईयर, तो हर दूसरा बिल मुसलमानों को बचाने के लिए क्यों आता है? पहले हिंदूज को ही बचा लो भाई. Muslims do believe that their own property in many cases do sometimes illegally get taken over by the Waqf. And of course, many Muslims want reform because when a government body is corrupt, it impacts their lives the most. But the problem here is trust. If this reform came from a party whose mukhya wasn't saying this before elections, I think more people would have supported it.
कि देश की संपत्ति पर पहला अधिकार मुसलमानों का है. इसका मतलब ये संपत्ति इकट्ठी करके किसको बांटेंगे? जिनके ज्यादा बच्चे हैं उनको बांटेंगे.
Can you really blame Muslims for not buying this whole narrative that we are here to save you? And Godi media is not making anything better. When mainstream narrative around Waqf bill is this,
वक्फ बोर्ड को ये अनलिमिटेड और अजीबोगरीब पावर आखिर मिल कैसे गई? कोई इसके खिलाफ अपील क्यों नहीं कर सकता?
वक्फ बिल में संशोधन सही काम हो रहा है ना. इस तरह से जो अंधाधुंध कहीं कहीं पर दावा ठोका जा रहा है, तो भूमाफिया कहने में क्या गलत है?
यानी कोई भी मुंह उठाकर ये नहीं कह सकता कि संसद वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी है, महाकुंभ वक्फ की जमीन पर हो रहा है, राष्ट्रपति भवन वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी है. अब ये नहीं चलेगा बॉस मोदी राज में.
When the mainstream narrative about a bill is this, then how can you trust that the new law is about development and efficiency?
मैं हैरान हूं जी.
This episode I know was super heavy with too much information. If you want to know more about the Waqf, then please listen to Faizan Mustafa on his channel. He has very simple explanations on what the Waqf law is, what the problems with it were, and he also looks at what the new changes are, what are the good aspects of it, and what are the troublesome, not so great aspects of this bill. So do tune into him and listen to him. Hats off to Rajdeep Sardesai for bringing him on his show to add some sense, some nuance to this otherwise very poisonous TV news debate around Waqf bill. Do tune in. Meanwhile, on News Laundry, on our weekly podcast NL Hafta, we also have an expert who told us about this particular bill and what the problems with it are.
As I see it, and my first blush when I read the whole bill was that it is a statute which is a translation of a WhatsApp forward. No, really speaking, WhatsApp forward you get against Waqf is, look how Waqf board has taken over an entire village. Look, that secretariat building the Waqf board is claiming to be built on its own land. Look, Muslims are in the Waqf board. Of course, if there are Muslims in the Waqf board, they will decide every property is to be their own. Same for the tribunal. And you know, they will say the tribunal decision is final and therefore nobody can go to the High Court. Completely wrong. And based on kind of, you know, the kind of false narrative that is peddled on WhatsApp and social media. And that unfortunately has translated into a bill which now we have debated for 14 hours. There's been a JPC on it. Unfortunate that all of those apprehensions have translated into a legislation. Right. Is there a data? Have you done any survey? If we talk about scams, there are scams everywhere. Like you said, you know, that's inherent part of the way our system functions.
Size, scale,
and Ambedkar also recognizes it. I mean, if you look at Ambedkar's exposition of how he understands and applies constitutional morality in the constitution, he clearly understands that, you know, the Indians are bound to go in a certain way. And therefore, we have the longest constitution in the world because he wanted to spell out everything.
Yeah, otherwise
सब लिख दूंगा वरना तुम लोग गड़बड़ करोगे.
Which is and still be garbage.
That was a little excerpt from our full NL Hafta show, which is outside the paywall. Every week, News Laundry editors and an expert get together and discuss a major news event of the week. The episode is almost 2 hours long. We don't rush into anything. We don't shout over each other. We have calm debates, calm agreements, and calm disagreements. And more importantly, we have someone who actually knows about what they're talking to tell you about what the issue is. So do tune into NL Hafta. It's behind the paywall. But that doesn't mean you don't support us, guys, because putting up shows like Hafta, Nuisance, Tippani, all that requires resources, all that requires money, and all that requires you guys to step in and pay to keep news free, because we don't have advertisers subsidizing this show. We don't take money from governments. We don't take money from corporations. We depend on you guys to bring you comprehensive programming, to bring you reports, to bring you shows that add some sense into all the nuisance that's happening around. So guys, please remember to support News Laundry. Scan the QR code that has been flashing on your screen all this while. Choose an amount that's convenient to you, just with ₹99. You can support our work, you can support our endeavor, you can support News Laundry. जस्ट 99 रुपए में आप इंडिपेंडेंट मीडिया को सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं और उसके साथ साथ बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग शोज़ आप देख सकते हैं. हमारा पेवॉल जो इंटरव्यूज़ हैं वो भी आप देख सकते हैं. सो प्लीज़ सपोर्ट अस एंड स्टे मैड. दैट्स द ओनली वे.